Hi, I'm Laura Ray, and I'm here with the best makeup slash beauty so far for 2023. So far, there's always these products that come in at the end of the year that are amazing. Now, right now, I have my eyes done, and that's pretty much it. So I thought we would try these products together. I could show you why I like them. In some categories, I have more than one, so I'll just show some close-ups of the products since I can't put them all on, but I'm really excited to share these with you. Before I start applying my foundation and blush, I wanted to share with you the eye makeup that I'm wearing. Ciate London sent me this recently, and it's such a beautiful palette. I mentioned it one time before, but if you look at my eyes right now, what I'm wearing is a duochrome shadow, and those are so hard to find and are my favorite. This is their 9-piece eyeshadow palette, and the shade is Olive. I've been having so much fun with these greens so far this year. That's a color I've sort of shied away from, and I don't know why. They're absolutely stunning, but I'm wearing this duochrome here, and I've mixed it with these two shades a little under the brow, but beautiful. And what I did was I took this deeper shade and used it as eyeliner. And I took the Inglot that I've talked about before. This is something you can mix with your eyeshadow to make a liquid eyeliner, and it works beautifully. It keeps it on all day. So I love that because you could take all your shadows you have in every color and make an eyeliner out of it. So this may sort of eliminate some eyeliners for me. Before I applied my eyeshadow, I went in with the Wet n Wild Megalast eyeshadow primer. This is their new improved formula. It's amazing and so affordable. It does not cover every bit of like blue veins and that kind of thing, but it does diminish them. So I really like that. And then Haus Laboratories, I've talked about so many times, the lip glosses. Well, they ran the eyebrow pencil, which I love because it's very pointed, on sale at one point. I paid under $10. So anytime I see these deals from Haus Labs, I try to let you know in the community post. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you can get those updates, because anytime I see these real bargains like $5, $5.50, I always try to put a post out. This is about the best my lashes have ever looked. I don't use any growth serums on them anymore. What I've done is gone in with the brand new Sky High primer. This is a black primer. I love black primer for the lashes. I just think it works great. And what I've done on my lower lashes is only applied the primer. I like the look of it with just the primer and then no smudging at all during the day. And then I went in with the Sky High mascara, which has been out for a while, but the primer was brand new this year, and I think it works amazing. There are 3 foundations that really stand out to me this year that are affordable, that I really like on my skin. I love the True Match from L'Oreal. I'm in the shade N4. This works beautifully. I love applying the L'Oreal over my Alana Mitchell. This is a moisturizer slash tinted sunscreen, so I really love that. But I can wear it on its own too, and it looks really nice. Now, the other one I love is the brand new Superstay from Maybelline. It is so thin and looks beautiful on the skin. It's not very illuminating. So what I like about it is it has more of a satin finish, more of a skin-like look to it. And it does come with a dropper. And I just like the way it looks. It reminds me a lot of the MAC Face and Body. And like I said, it has more of a satin finish to it, not super illuminating. Now, if you want illuminating, my favorite has been the Revlon. I'm in the shade here 201. I really need to go a little deeper for summer. This was more of a shade when the product first came out. My skin was a lot lighter. Just from going on walks, my skin tone has changed a little bit, but I bought 201. And I thought at the time that was a really good shade. But this is very illuminating. I did try the Makeup by Mario, and that was a little too much illumination for me. So I thought what we'd do is apply the Revlon today, even though it's going to be a little light for me. I wanted you to see how it looks on my skin. So this is very thin, as you can see it running down the glass palette. I like that about it. I don't want a heavy foundation. I feel like it just accentuates my fine lines and wrinkles. Yeah, I can see this is going to be a little light. I haven't used this much in the past month because I've been trying out the new one from Maybelline, and I bought the shade 120 in that, and that seems to be a really good shade match for me. Now I'm going in with a brand new sponge. This is the Stands Out sponge I use all the time, but I got a new one. And one thing I wanted to say, when you get a new one, you wet it for the first couple of times, but after that, you just use it dry. And I think that's so cool. I like not having to wet a sponge all the time. Wow. Even though this is a little light, it's really looking pretty on my skin. You get that luminosity to the skin without being too much. I didn't do well with the Charlotte Tilbury, her illuminating foundation she came out with. It just didn't last well on my skin and was just a little too glittery, or not glittery, but too illuminating for work, which is where I'm primarily going most of the time. So I like to have a foundation that looks very natural for my everyday life. And I like that with this sponge, I can just tap some product and go right under the eye and get coverage there. I'm just going to do half of my face so we can do a good comparison. It is a little light. I can see that as I'm putting it on my neck, but at least you'll be able to see, and I can always bronze up my face. All right, so let's take a look. This is the Revlon Skin Caring Foundation. And on this side, nothing. By the way, the reason they call this Skin Caring Foundation, it's sort of a different name. It has 5% squalane in it and hyaluronic acid. So it does have skincare in the foundation itself. I do need to use a little bit of concealer in the corner of my nose here with this foundation because it is so thin. It doesn't cover the capillaries that I have. Right in here, I have 2 lines of a broken vein here. So I'm going to put extra there to try to cover, but most likely I'll have to go in with concealer. And that's true of a lot of the foundations that I use because they are so thin. I typically do have to go in with a concealer, but it's not that big of a deal. I love this sponge for that reason. Look at how nice. You've got all these different edges to it. So you can get the point and get into these little corners, and then you can use this flat part to like go under the chin and make sure everything is really well blended. So this is the Illuminance foundation from Revlon. I really like it. When I want sort of a glowy look without applying a lot of glowy products, this gives a little more than a satin finish would, but not over the top. I'm surprised we haven't heard much about these from Physicians Formula. It's their Butter Glow liquid bronzer and their liquid highlighter. So I want to show you how these work. What's interesting to me is if you look at the packaging, let's look at the highlighter. This is 40 milliliters. Now you look at the e.l.f. and it looks so much bigger to me. And this has a glass bottle, so it gives the feel like this is really heavy and there's a lot of product. Well, this has 31.9% 0.5 milliliters. This has 40. So there's actually more product in this one than the e.l.f. I do love the e.l.f. I'm sure many of you purchased this, and I think it's a great product. But I'm not hearing much about the Physicians Formula, so that's the one I wanted to use today. It has a squeezy tube, so maybe that's why people haven't been talking about this as much. You don't have that wand to use. It is coming right out of the tube, but I don't mind that. And you can see it's not a super runny kind of product, so it's pretty easy to work with, actually. I'm going to go in with the bronzer first, and I'm just tapping this rougher brush. This is the number 4 into the product, and I'm going to start at my hairline up here and just softly pat. And now this isn't a contour, it's a bronzer, so it's just meant to warm up the face. But I'm going to put it on the perimeter of my face and on my cheeks. And I'm going to put some down the neck to warm up my neck. Now, I'm sure the first question you would have is, does it have a scent? And yes, it does. These do smell like the coconut buttery scent, but fortunately, it doesn't bother my skin any, and I do have sensitive skin, and this smell will dissipate shortly. So it's not a smell that lingers on the skin. I think that would bother me too much, and I really wouldn't like it if that were the case. So I really like this because it's very simple to work with. I think it looks beautiful on the cheeks, and it's easy to build. I'm just working with it right now. I want to put on a little more than I normally would so you can see it in the video, but look at how pretty that looks on the skin. And it doesn't accentuate my pores or fine lines. So I think this is really more mature friendly than a powder would be, because a powder will sit on the skin more, where this blends in to the skin like your foundation would. Now I'm going to take my Stands Out sponge. I always like to do that after I do every step of my makeup and sort of just blend out so everything is well blended. I really love the look of this. I think it's glowy yet pretty natural. It doesn't sit on my skin. So I think the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Bronzer is very mature skin friendly. Now let's try the highlighter. I know a lot of women my age don't like highlighter, but then there's a group that really does. So I wanted to make sure and show you. I don't always wear highlighter, but there's times when my skin, I feel like, looks a little dull. And I just think it gives that extra oomph to the skin that just really makes it look dewy and fresh. I love the way this looks. I think it's so pretty. I use so little. You can see I put on the palette here some, and I barely used any. So the tube of this will last a very long time, and I love the way it looks. I think it looks just as pretty as Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood Flawless Filter. I've purchased that a couple of times, and I think this gives that same similar look at a much more affordable price. Let's talk about blush. There have been some beautiful blushes that have come out. I really like the one from Essence, their Pure Nude Baked Blush. Now this is in the shade Berry Cheeks, and I think that one's really pretty. And then I bought Cool Coral. So I think I'll put Cool Coral on today since it's a little more summery. Now, one thing I want to say about the packaging, almost immediately the label was wearing off on it. So it's definitely more affordable packaging, but if you don't care about that, the product itself is beautiful. I really love it. It reminds me a lot of the Laura Geller blushes. So if you like those baked kind, or the Milani has great baked blushes. So if you see a shade maybe you don't have, these are so affordable. And I think they rival anything I've ever tried high end. So there you go. There's the Essence Naked Blush in the shade Cool Coral. Another great product Physicians Formula came out with recently is their Butter Glow Pressed Powder. Now, this one's in Natural Glow, and then this one is in Translucent Glow. So I'll put some of that on. I'm going to just use my Stands Out sponge and press it into the skin. So if you're looking for a powder, sort of like the Hourglass that gives that diffused look with a little bit of glow to it, I think this is a great alternative. I'm not saying it's a dupe of it, but great for if you're looking for something that's more affordable. I really love their makeup. Now, the other one that they sent, the Natural Glow, I felt was not a good shade for my skin tone. This would be for someone with a deeper skin tone, but I loved it for blush. So I'm going to put a little of that on top of my blush here. And I think it's really a beautiful powder. And you can see that gives a nice glow, but again, it's not shiny or metallic. I feel so bare without my lipstick on. I wanted to try the brand new BK Beauty lipsticks. Lisa J came out with a beautiful line of lipsticks more than a year ago now, and they're just so buttery, creamy, beautiful. Well, she's come out with some new shades, and I bought one in the shade Beauty. So I thought this would really perk me up. It's such a beautiful pink. These are definitely great for mature lips. They're so hydrating. I love this shade. I was so excited to hear that she came out with some new shades. The other shades were beautiful, but she's come out with some brighter ones. And this one is such a beautiful pink. I love wearing pink, especially this time of year in the summer. So I'm super excited about this new release. I have a few other eye products that I want to share with you. I really love cream shadows. They're so easy, sort of a one and done, out the door kind of look. It's minimalism, yet gorgeous. So I was excited when Neutrogena came out with these. They're eyeshadow and primer all in one, so you don't even need to put on an eyeshadow primer, which is great for a mature eye. I think the less product and the less layers, the better. These are stunning. They look beautiful on the eyes. They last all day. These really got me through the school year when I had those mornings where I didn't have much time. If I wasn't filming, most mornings I film in the morning around 5 a.m. So I'm up really early, and these are just super simple. I love them, and the shades mix well together. So I would take the deeper shade and use it on the outer corner of my eye, and then maybe use this over the rest of the lid, and even do a little halo with this shade here. And I'll list all the shades. The Soft Pearl is the one I like to use for the halo look. And then the other shade I had was Rose Gold, and the deepest shade is called Warm Taupe. But I could use any of these just on their own, but I love mixing them and creating different looks. Now, another company that came out with this type of product is Wet n Wild. And they came out with these Shadow Silks. These are beautiful too. I bought two shades. I bought Heart of Rose Gold here and Lunar Beige. And again, the look that I like to do is take the Heart of Gold, put it over my mobile lid, and then go in maybe in the center with the Lunar Beige. And that just gives that beautiful halo. It gives a look that looks complicated yet minimalist all in one. I really love that. These are great for women with hooded eyes, or if you don't have a lot of eye space, because it just really highlights the color of your eyes. That's what we're really looking to do, right? To make the color of our eyes pop. And so I think these are a great option. These are my favorite CoverGirl shadows ever. I mean, ever. They're so buttery, creamy. When they came out, I ran to purchase these, and I've been so happy with them. I actually gave one to my daughter. She doesn't normally wear CoverGirl eyeshadow, and she even said, wow, those are amazing. She loved the texture of them, the way they look on the eyes. And again, what I like about these is you can take them and use like one shade and get an amazing look. Now this palette became one of my favorites. It's shimmering beige. If I just want something subtle that would match with anything else that I'm wearing as far as blush or lipstick, and I can take this one shade here that is amazing and just put that alone, and that's it. It doesn't have to be complicated. And then I can take something like my Inglot. I talked about the eyeshadow. It's called Makeup Mixing Liquid. I can mix that, say, with this deeper shade here and make a beautiful eyeliner. So this is one of those palettes that you don't need to have 30 shades in a palette. You can create a lot of different simple looks with this 4-pan palette. Another product from CoverGirl I feel is underrated, probably because of the packaging, is the Clean Fresh Yummy Color. I am in love with these. They feel more like a lip mask. If you called this a lip mask, I think it probably would have sold even better. And I think the packaging is just sort of off-putting. It looks very young. It looks like this is for a teenager, not a woman my age. It doesn't have that classic, classy packaging like some of the things I've shown you today. But boy, is the product great. I like to put this on even before bed, and it makes a great lip mask. I'm going to put a little on top here so you can see how glossy it is. Beautiful. And what I like about it, it will stay on the lips for hours. Now they do have a scent to them, so if you don't like scented products at all, you go for totally fragrance-free, then I wouldn't purchase this. This is the shade Peach Out, so it has the peachy scent. I bought one of the deeper shades. I do like that this has a little bit of color to it. It has a slight tint, so this does have a peachy look to it. I bought one of the deeper shades that look like black honey, and it really is beautiful. But I love these. They make the lips feel so moisturized, and they last for hours. I really love the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift. I do think it gives a lift to my lashes. I'm not wearing it today because I wanted to show you the Sky High together with the two products. But when I first got this, I wasn't sure about it because I felt like it was too thin, the formula, but as I used it longer, I just kept falling in love with it more and more. I love the shape of the brush that you can sort of coat on one side and then comb through on the other. So this has become a favorite new mascara for 2023. If you're looking for these products, just click the More button, and all the links for these products are in the description of the video. And if you're not subscribed, hit the button. I'd love to have you here. I appreciate and love you all so much, and I'll see you soon.